but fornication and all uncleanness or covetousness. Let it not even be named among you, as is fitting for saints. For this you know, that no fornicator, unclean person, nor covetous man who is an idolater has any inheritance in the kingdom of Christ and God. Wait, hold on a second. Not having an inheritance in God's kingdom? Doesn't that imply not being saved? Isn't that a bit extreme? We receive salvation through faith. And seriously, who doesn't have desires? If you're saying desire is idolatry, then who isn't an idolater? Yes, that is correct. There is no one without desire. Desire itself is not inherently bad. It is natural for humans and can serve as a driving force for survival and growth. However, covetousness is different. Covetousness is an evil desire to take what has not been permitted through unjust means. It often comes at the expense of others, and it has a tendency to destroy existing peace, safety, and happiness. Greed is a sin, and what is even worse is choosing to pursue and act on that greed. Fornication and all uncleanness are bad, but the more fundamental sin that leads to these is covetousness. Covetousness is directly tied to the attitude we choose to have before God. For those who have inherited God's kingdom, God should be at the center of their hearts. However, those who pursue covetousness allow the object of their greed to take that central place instead. God is pushed aside in their lives, and other created things take control. Such a person, in trying to forcefully obtain what God has not permitted, ends up harming others and committing acts of lawlessness against God. The origin of covetousness is Satan. Satan was once a servant who worshipped God, but at some point he began to see himself as superior and eventually made even God an object of envy and jealousy. He pursued covetousness, plotted and acted on his schemes. 1/3 of the heavenly angels were led by his deception to oppose God, and now they have been cast down to the earth, awaiting the day of destruction. However, they are far from passive. They relentlessly deceive people, preventing them from seeing God's glory. They are especially obsessed with destroying the church, working relentlessly to achieve this. The attempt to destroy the church is also being carried out by those who call themselves believers. They do not commit sin by accident. Rather, they deliberately choose to continue in sin. How can those who belong to the kingdom of God act this way? Of course, they cannot. Whoever has been born of God does not sin, for his seed remains in him, and he cannot sin because he has been born of God. Their actions of harming the church reveal that they do not belong to God's kingdom and are not under Christ's rule. We have already received the eternal kingdom as our inheritance, which has begun here on the earth. Therefore, let us not set our hearts on worldly things. Let us follow the will of God, who rules over the entire universe, provides all things, and guides each life personally. Looking toward eternal happiness, let us faithfully fulfill the work entrusted to us under Christ's rule with gratitude and patience.